Well, our reporter Karyn Maughan is our eyes and ears at that briefing this morning. Let's go back to her now. Thuli Madonsela, we know, had her say yesterday. Karyn, it's the security cluster's turn today. What's likely to come out of this briefing?
Well, the key question that will be answered today, of course, is the security cluster's response to Advocate Thuli Madonsela, making it very clear that she wanted to, as she put it, depoliticize the eNCA process. Now, what she meant by that, Joanne, was that she wanted properly appointed and qualified state officials to discuss with her their security concerns, but she did not want the political figureheads, the ministers, to be involved any longer, going as far to say that she severely regretted allowing them to see her provisional report in the first place. Of course, the ministers have denied any wrongdoing in this process, yesterday saying through spokesperson Karyn Maughan that they welcomed her consultation process ideas, but really Karyn Maughan refusing at that stage to say what the ministers' attitude to them being excluded from the process would be, saying that this was still a matter for discussion. Also crucially important is that Thuli Madonsela again yesterday referring to a letter that was sent to her on the 24th of April from the State Attorney's Office, in which she said she was put under pressure or instructed that she should put her investigation on hold until the Special Investigating Unit and Auditor General had in fact completed their investigation. She said she consulted with both those bodies and found out that they were in fact not investigating. Now remember, Joanne, that the ministers and security clusters were at pains to rubbish this in court papers, saying that there was simply no attempt to stop her from doing investigation. Now we have this letter which has surfaced, in which from the State Attorney's Office, the State Attorney says our clients, of course referring to the ministers, therefore propose that they continue to brief you on the matter and that they continue to update you on the investigations, of course, by the SIU and the AG, but that you hold your investigation in abeyance until the processes embarked upon have been completed. At the end of that letter, they say that you can then decide whether you wish to investigate further. So while the security cluster has been at pains to state throughout that this was simply a matter of national security concerns, and that was what they were centrally focused on, and that there wasn't an attempt to subvert the public protector's investigation, we now have a letter from the State Attorney's Office that seems to suggest the contrary.
Karyn, I see DA parliamentary leader Lindiwe Mazibuko also wants the National Assembly to look into whether ministers in the security cluster indeed interfered with this probe.
Well, there is, summarily documentary evidence that there were these attempts and overtures made. We know on both the versions of the security cluster and the public protector that a number of very friendly meetings were held. But certainly this letter suggests, this 4-page letter, which goes into a great deal of detail, in which the State Attorney makes it very clear to the public protector that the ministers feel it is more appropriate for the Special Investigating Unit to be investigating this quote-unquote sensitive matter. We know that there is documentary evidence certainly suggest that her claims that she was put under pressure, even if it was a sort of form of soft pressure, may not be are not unsubstantiated. And certainly the security cluster ministers are going to have to explain exactly why they felt her body was not properly equipped to do this investigation. Also problematic for them is that, as Thuli Madonsela pointed out, the Special Investigating Unit can only do an investigation if it is given orders to do so by the President, or official proclamation by the President is made. That simply never happened. The Auditor General also made it very clear to Thuli Madonsela that he had no intention of investigating the eNCA issue. So certainly there is a massive discrepancy of facts, and the documents certainly suggest that these overtures were made by the ministers, and sort of a case was made that this investigation should be handled by other bodies, which in fact were not investigating the eNCA matter to begin with.
Karyn Maughan, thanks very much for that very comprehensive explanation. We will touch base with her a little later on in the day once that press conference gets underway.
News that moves. eNCA.com.